Tonight on DFY Magic Themes, we'll be talking about on-page SEO. Well, good evening to you. Hope you're well. First in the room tonight was Bob, followed by Paul, followed by Laurie. And I know others will join as we get going tonight here on DFY Magic Themes. We're going to be talking about on-page SEO, and we'll be calling one of our members up who I know Robert's been working with this week to help this person get their site found even more. All this and lots more tonight on DFY Magic Themes. Well, hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, howdy doody. Good to see everyone tonight on the Friday call. It's that Friday feeling. You all right, Robert? You're muted, mate, I think. Does it let you unmute? Shall I ask you to unmute in case it's not letting you? I'll do sign language for you, bud. Hey, we can hear you.
It wouldn't let me unmute.
Ah, okay.
I was locked out.
Oh, well, we don't always want to hear you. I'm joking.
I know. I get it.
No need to shut up.
And that's how it is, right?
Yeah. How's your week been?
Busy. Lots going on. Some personal stuff going on.
Yeah.
Today is my 39th happy anniversary day.
Happy anniversary, Robert.
39 years.
You've got
45 years together.
We've got less for life.
I mean, time goes by so fast.
Doesn't it? I've been with my good partner 16 years now. So and it's easy to remember because my daughter is coming up 16 in April next year. So she's 15 at the moment. So we got together and then along came Izzy. So it's easy to remember that 16 years for us. And I don't dare forget the time the day we met in March.
We were high school sweethearts. She was a freshman and I was a junior when we met. She had a boyfriend, I had a girlfriend at the time. And both of us were like on the edge of getting away from the relationships. And I was in a swim team and we had a swim team party. And we had already had a date scheduled for Saturday, and that was like a Friday night. And the swim team was known for drinking back then. And I drank more than my share. And to make a long story short, I was standing next to her, and Cindy is 5'4", and I passed out on top of her. It's just.
That's very kind of you.
And
is that one of the worst chat lines ever?
It wasn't even a line. I just passed out. I drank too much, passed out. Next thing I know, they were this back in the day, they were trying to give me black coffee and get me sober and send me on my way home. But luckily, I didn't drive. Somebody else drove me. I couldn't even. I was not coherent. Anyways, she stuck with me 39 years after that.
Wow. What a way to meet someone or get to know someone, or
Well, we were already scheduled to go out on a date to the
right.
movies for our first date, but it turned out that the swim team party was kind of just something. She was the manager of the swim team. She didn't swim, but it's just a funny story. I always thought.
I tried doing synchronized swimming once, but I couldn't
Oh,
hold my
boy.
breath very long, so I decided not to bother. Plus, I'm not very
Well,
synchronized.
I tell you what, swimming is a good sport. It's a tough sport. Really gets you in good shape. Anyways,
did you ever jump
I
off the
digress.
dive boards?
I was not a diver.
No.
My daughter was. My daughter was very good at it, but she didn't stay in it long.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's get back to the subjects at hand.
Yeah. Why not?
And you know, life is experience, life is wisdom, life is sharing, right? All the things that we do. And if Lori is okay with coming on the call with us, I just want to have a little chat about some things. I don't want to say what your site is or what happened or what didn't happen, but I want to say kudos to Lori, because no matter what challenge is thrown her way, she always seems to dodge the bullets, dodge the grenades, and get things done. She just digs in and does what's necessary. And her site was stuck. I think we had talked about a month ago that you were going to turn in a ticket, and I think you just delayed for one reason or another. But anyways, finally the ticket came in. So when it comes to doing SEO, doing website building, doing any of these tech things that you get stuck in, it always falls back to somebody that you can ask, a community, a group. In our case, Stephen and myself, because we do these builds, but there's always new stuff that comes up, and there's always new challenges that come up. And what I thought was interesting here was Lori took a build and recreated a niche and did a great job on it. But there was a couple things that, we don't know what we don't know, right? There was a couple things in switching one build niche, which was website building, to another completely different niche. And because Rank Math Pro wasn't activated, this is the big point here. Rank Math Pro was not activated. So the original build, which was part of Rank Math, was put into the file form so you guys could build your sites and you could take it from there. But the schema from the original build was left in place. So the schema from one niche going to the next niche, it's not much. It's just the website title and the tagline in the schema settings. Lori changed them on the website, but not in the schema. So is that Lori's fault? No. Is that our fault? No. But at the end of the day, Google sees a site with mixed signals. It's saying this niche, but it's also got some leftovers of this niche. So it becomes a confused, where should I rank it type of arrangement. Was that the only thing? No, it wasn't, but that's a big red flag when you're saying your niche schema and you're telling your schema on the website build is telling Google this website is supposed to be about this. So when they crawl it and it's about blue widgets, but you're trying to sell red widgets, it gets confused, and so does your ranking with all of the other things that happen. So that being said, we're later on in the inner circle, we're going to talk about some other settings that are in the Rank Math Pro that you should be aware of. But the biggest thing, if you're going to build anything, you got to get the settings right from the get-go so that you can tell Google what's correct and what's not correct. Lori, so the question to you is, you don't have to divulge the niche or anything, rankings, or you can say page one, whatever, but what did you see happen in a matter of a few days by making a few changes? Now, I know you spent, I'm going to say 3 hours, 4 hours. Is that fair? I don't know.
Fixing?
You fixed all the images,
Yeah.
right? The title tags of the images, or the alt tags, I should say.
Yeah. There's some links as well.
Well, the links were, in all fairness, was from one build to another build. Some of the pages changed, the content changed, so the original links that were left were then broken.
Correct.
So there were some 404 errors on the pages, which that's not a great signal for Google either, to have 404 errors. So you did alt tags, you did fixing of the links to make sure everything was clickable, going where it's supposed to go, and saying what it was supposed to say, right?
Yep.
And what else did we do?
Added a little bit of content. We created a new page with a keyword that you had found.
Okay.
And I guess the schema.
That was a really quick fix. But so here's what happened, okay? Lori bought Rank Math Pro. And I'm going to say at least a month ago.
Yeah.
So it didn't get installed.
Correct.
It didn't get installed and didn't get it Google Analytics activated, right? So all of the things that Rank Math can start doing for you wasn't happening because it wasn't turned on.
Mm-hmm.
So once that did happen, I'm going to say you were solidly page 5, page 6 at the beginning of the week.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I didn't see you anywhere else in what I looked. I mean, I'm not saying I extensively searched every keyword out there, but I looked at some of the more consistent ones. And in doing that, what did happen was you jumped up. I noted at least page 2 and some page 1 rankings within a few days.
Correct. Yes.
And I think for sure it's going to be doing a Google dance yet. It's going to be going up,
I look
going
forward
down.
to it.
But with what all of this means is taking action, getting help when you need it, raising your hand. Now, what else happened? Well, you were not aware, but I was aware that as soon as I saw some things happening, the slower load speed, I said, Stephen, can we optimize the images? Sure, boom. Jumps in, he ran the optimizer for you. And we just looked at the basics. But you doing the right things, fixing the 404 errors, getting all the alt tags, and that stuff matters. Every little thing that you can get right, and every little thing that you can tell Google, this image is about this niche. This image is about this niche. And the importance of really digging down to the keyword of the page is now more and more important than ever, plus the locations that we're doing these things in. So if you're doing location-based websites, and obviously different niches can go all over the world, and most of the niches that we are doing are service-based industries. So we can't go more than 60 to 100 miles away from where we are, because the service guys are not going to travel that far to go do a job. It just doesn't work. So in the end, paying attention to the smaller details, taking the action of making sure the site is correct. What you had to do, Lori, is what we do on every build. we go and I'm telling you, it's I say to Stephen all the time, we look at the sites for months sometimes, going back and forth with the devs, the content, to this, that, and you literally become blind to the errors.
Yeah.
You're looking at the edit page so much, and you're always seeing the shortcodes, that when you actually see the view of the page and the shortcodes are still showing, it means they're broken. There's something wrong, or there's something not in the value. But what happens is you get so familiar with looking at the edit page that seeing the shortcodes becomes the norm, so that when you go to view the page and you see the shortcodes, you don't actually see them as being broken. So Stephen and I, on every build, at the end, say, okay, let's do a final run. And a lot of times it's not the final run. A lot of times it's the second and third and fourth final run, because we find stuff wrong that we get fixed. And I'm dealing with it on that side a lot more than Stephen is. But at the end, when it comes down to it, and we get in, and he goes, "That's wrong," and you're absolutely right. It's wrong. We got to fix it. And we go through page by page, just like you did. We click every button. We click every service link. We click every phone link. And if they don't do what they're supposed to do, we have to fix them. And there's some secrets to that, which we'll talk about later in the inner circle, on how we set these up so you can replicate a site and keep making it evergreen, putting it out there without having to fix your links every time.
Laurie, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
You reached out to us on support saying, I'm stuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you would have been able to get the answers to sort out a lot of your SEO issues on your site if you hadn't had our support and the support system?
No way. There's just no way. Yeah.
Because it's a hive of information out there. I mean, as an example, I'm just going to share my screen a second, because I wanted to show you this, which is quite interesting. Make sure I'm on the right desktop. There we go. Right. So I'll just wait for it to come up. There we go. So Google loves doing updates all the time, and I want to share this with people. It's interesting. If you're using a URL, and in this example, it is example.com, but it'd be your URL. They recommend not to use these sort of symbols. And I remember someone once saying to me, "Oh, I'm able to copy anyone's site by using a special character like this. If you look at the U there, it's got 2 dots above it." Mm-hmm. And people try and do that to con people, making out it's it's a proper legit site. But Google has started to de-index this sort of thing. Something else that's interesting that I picked up on this week was they like hyphens. So in this example, it's example.com, summer-clothing, and it's got a filter in there, which is perfectly fine, and color-profile equals dark gray. But it's this / bit here that is interesting. And the reason it says up there anyway is because Google likes things to be easy to see. So if you had a domain name which was xy4321.com, it ain't going to work. If you have a domain name with what it says on the tin, then that's going to work. Just jumped to the wrong screen there. Let's come back. So the idea behind this is is keyword in your domain name, and then a different keyword on your page. And if it's 2 keywords together as your page name, then make sure you put a hyphen in between, because that'll make Google happy, and also makes people happy. If they know what it says on the tin, they're going to go to, for example, Amazon.com/summer-clothing, and they can read that fine. If it's all one, then it's not so good. And I've been doing a bit of research this week on hyphen domains, because I didn't always think they work as well. But Google's last sort of updates are now saying if it's easier to read, people are going to click on it. People click on it, they're going to like your site. If your site's got the information that after, they're going to stay on your site. And all those are lovely alarm bells for Google to go, well, people like this site. Guess what? I'm going to push it up the search engine. then you have decent backlinks to these sites as well, and it all works well. They recommend not using underscores. So don't do underscores, do dashes. And they don't recommend joining words together. So green dress, all one word. So we're now finding out that if you want to buy hyphen domain names, and there's a lot of them out there, you can now, for an example, do london-local-plumber.com or and that'll work well. Something else Google recommends is try and use your own country URL. So if you're in America or places like that, it'd be .com. They prefer in the UK .co.uk. If it's Germany, I think it's .de. So they prefer you to try and use your own regional domain name. But that has been changing a bit because obviously now we've got different extensions on the end. There might even be like a .training one now. But of course, if there's a domain like that you're going to go and buy, you want to be doing training on .training. You want to be doing plumbing on .plumbing. How well these other domain names are going to rank, I'm still testing and I haven't found great results. So I prefer .coms and .co.uk's. And on average in the UK, I end up buying both because I don't want someone piggybacking my business, depending on what I'm doing. If you're a local plumber in the UK, I'm not going to worry too much. There goes my screen again. I'm not going to worry too much on if someone nicks my .com version at the end of the day. But if I'm doing something a bit more important, then globally, I always make sure I buy the .com. I don't worry too much about additional extensions. If someone wanted to nick the .co.uk version of a domain name, well, let them do it. Let them try it, because at the end of the day, everyone knows, like DFI Magic Themes is .com. You could end up buying hundreds of domain names, costing you loads of money a year, and you're not doing much with them. And the important thing is to learn, like I've learned. I've been getting rid of domain names, and I'm going, well, I've had that domain name 5 years. Yes, it's an aged domain name. Am I going to do anything with it? No, I'm not. So get rid of it. But there's some interesting information on here, and when we're in the inner circle, we will share a bit more of that information.
These are all the things that add up. And for somebody starting out new, they don't know. There is so much that can get thrown at you. And there's so much hype about what you should buy and what's going to work. And, the community we have in DFI Magic Themes is about sharing what works and also sharing what doesn't work. And if we see something going the wrong direction, we're going to say something, because it's not about selling the next product. It's about making sure that you guys get to where you want to get to. And will it always work? I'm going to say, if you do the work and really put behind the content into the sites, they're going to rank. They're going to do what you want them to do. And it's not a 5-minute success. You have to work at these things, and you have to give Google what Google wants to rank a site. And that's what's important here, is the shiny I saw a video the other day, and I commented on it that was a perfect example of shiny object syndrome for us. There was a greyhound dog race. There was 5 dogs in the shot coming, and they're chasing the robotic rabbit. They're all 4 or 5 of them are together, and then a real rabbit comes across the track, and all 5 dogs turned hard right off the track to go after the real rabbit. It was hilarious, and I thought to myself, that's a perfect example. That's what we do. We're chasing that shiny object, and then boom, there's another one, and we're off the wrong direction again. You have to stay consistent. You have to lay out, and you have to buckle down on what you're going to do. If you keep jumping, if you keep changing directions, if you keep, tacking back and forth, you don't make any forward progress. And, I thought that what Lori did this week shows how much she puts into this, because she wants to get a result. And when Stephen and I see people doing that, We want to help as much as we possibly can. And I'm going to say, do we have every answer for everybody? No, we don't. But if you're doing all the right things, it's usually going to pay off and it's usually going to work. And I have no doubt that Lori's site will rank for things that she didn't think it would ever rank for, which is fine, plus what she's going after. She was very smart choosing her domain name, and she went with buyer intent keywords, which that's another whole subject for another day, but all of these things matter. And if you really don't know, you're starting out brand new, that's the time to plug into people that are in a community that are doing the same thing and can help you. If you just try to do it all on your own, and I did it for many, many years. I didn't want to share anything I knew because I thought I knew more than everybody else. No, you learn by sharing and you learn by talking to other people. And you're going to find what works and what doesn't work every time. So Lori, I thank you for coming on the call for one, and for two, putting in the effort, because it's important for us to see you do well. And that's really what we want to happen. And we want this formula to be not hard work, but just do the work and the rest comes easy. That's what we want. And you're a prime example of putting in hard work, tackling stuff you may not understand, and it doesn't matter. You're still going to do it. It's still going to work one way or another. So that's all I really wanted to say, Lori, and I appreciate you. And like I said, the effort you put in will always show up in the things that you build.
You know, the best thing of all, what we do with DFY Magic Fiends is we bring up people like Lori, who are genuine customers, and we share it. If you get into any of our groups, you'll find most people that follow what we do and do what we do are in the groups, and you can message them directly and ask them questions. You know, inside of our groups. That's the fun thing about it. You know, and another little tip for you, all to do with your websites and stuff, is guess what that is? Oh, bad luck, guys. See you next week on the free groups.